folks, so welcome to Fishing for Sanity. You can see that it's an early start for me today. As they say, the early bird catches the worm. Well, I'm hoping the early bird catches the fish. So I'm down here today. You can see I've got two rods set up. So on the right hand rod, which is my little scope, I've got a bit of pop-up corn and two bits of sweet corn on there for hopefully carp, tench or bream, and I've got a similar kind of arrangement on the left hand rod, but I'm just down here off the lily pads, and I've got a hair rigged cell boilie. So I've also got some pellet and some sweet corn out there, so let's see how we get on. Well folks, it's been a long time since I've sat and watched the sun rise. Yeah, it's something magical. It's really quiet and you can hear the wildlife waking up. Like I say, it's been a while since I've done this. I've got up specially this morning because I'm on leave. And I thought, you know, get out early. It's nice laying in bed, but no, it's good to get out early and just kind of soak up the surroundings, you know. Amazing. I mean, really, really good. It's good for the soul. Oh man, that was a kingfisher. Did you see that kingfisher just fly past? That's amazing. It's just gone up by the lock now. Kingfisher. Amazing. Don't see many of them. Don't see many of them. It's good to see. Oh, look at all these flies. Look at all these. So my armpits. Okay folks, so the sun is now rising, it's now up, and I've had a few bubbles in the patch where I put the bait out on the left hand rod, so fingers crossed. Oh, just had a little knock on that. Could have been a bit of a line bite. Oh, come on. You know you want it. Just want it to rip off. Have a nice river carp on there. So I've never ever caught a carp from a river. I've tried many times. This could be it. Wouldn't that be good? So I've got that knock a minute ago, and just down in that sort of patch there, with my Polaroid glasses on, I can see so many small fish. So there's obviously something down there feeding. Obviously kicking up a lot of stuff. I don't know if you can see any ripples on the surface, but yeah, there's quite a few small silverfish milling around down there, so that would imply to me that, I don't know, did you see that? Flashes under the water. That would imply to me that there's something down there feeding. We shall see. Fingers crossed though. Some bubbles coming up as well. So much stuff milling about down here, which is where I got my bait. Quite a lot of small stuff, so again, something's down there feeding. You can see bubbles coming up. So if there's small stuff about that, normally means there's bigger stuff underneath stirring the bottom up. So come on, just want it to go. Go on. Okay, so a minute ago I said I've never caught a river carp, and yeah, that's true. The only carp I've ever caught have been in lakes, so to catch a carp from a river would be absolutely fantastic. That being said, there's a new bit of tackle out on the market called the Magic Twig. It's come under fire. A lot of people are saying that, like, you know, it shouldn't be allowed. A lot of fisheries are banning it, and you know, again, oh, that was a right hand rod this time. That being said, the same was probably said when the hair rig was developed many years ago. You know, because then, until then, carp were pretty much uncatchable. So yeah, the hair rig was developed in the 80s by, I think, Len Middleton and Kevin Maddox. Again, you know, it was a breakthrough. It was, you know, carp were pretty much uncatchable until the hair rig was developed. And these two guys, I think they done tank testing on it to see how the fish feed, and again, it's very much like this guy who's developed the Magic Twig. I think it's called the Hermit rig, which is very similar to that. But yeah, you know, a lot of fisheries are banning it, saying, like, you know, it's unsafe, and I don't know. I've not really seen it. I'd have to get my hands on it. It'd be interesting to kind of give it a go. What do you guys think? Should I try the Magic Twig or not? Basically, in essence, the Magic Twig is a self-hooking rig. It's from what I gather, it's a bit of a tube that triggers the hook to retract when a carp has taken the bait, so it hooks instantly. You can get different kind of tensions, I suppose, but again, it's no different really to Trigger Link, which I've used before, which is a Nash line. Trigger Link isn't a self-hooking line, but it's once it's put in water, it becomes really supple and elastic, and therefore when a fish takes it, it's got a bit of tension behind it. And again, I don't know whether it's a bit of a gimmick or not. I've used it years ago for carp fishing, and I think I've still got a bit kicking about. I don't know. I'll have to have a look, see if I can dig it out. Well, after that walk, I'm back at the car and I am sweating. It's a George Michael and Andrew Ridgeley. Yeah, it's a bit wham. So it is about 7:45 in the morning. We're going to give it a go. Up Starlock again, so I'll see you later. Okay folks, so I'm set up. Both rods are out. So on the left hand rod I've got some corn and some worm, and on the right hand rod I've got some mainline link, which is an unusual smell. Does smell a bit strange, but anyway, I've got that. Yeah, yesterday I went out mackerelling around Beachy Head, so you'll probably, if you subscribe to the channel, you may have seen that video. So yeah, that was epic. So it was such a perfect day. So anyway, tomorrow we got this weather continuing, so I might, if I can, try and get out on my kayak. This time I'm going to have some lures with me and I'm going to try for some bass. So I've got my quota for of mackerel, what I need for the winter season. Should see me through. I may have to buy a bit more, but anyway, I've run out of freezer space, so yeah, we'll see how we get on. We're taking shelter today. It's supposed to be the hottest day of the year. We've had this hot spell now for a good few days, so yeah, it's been quite nice. Makes a change from the rain and the wind. So yeah, it's been pretty good without that wind. I can stop moaning about it for once. Anyway, I think James, did you see that? It's a good sign. That's on the sweet corn and worm. So, could be a perch, could be something small nibbling at the worm. But anyway, it's encouraging to see.
In the distance, in the hazy sunlight, approaches a slightly rotund man wearing a strange hat. Is it fact? Is it fiction? Or is it the elusive James?
Morning, James. Afternoon. Okay, so James is going to be using a running ledger with a bait he made himself. Tell us a bit about it, James.
Yeah, it's a custom bait, some plum in it, and I use this to catch a 25 pounder in my new water after just 10 minutes of being there. So I've got a lot of confidence in this one, folks. Might even give the recipe to Mr. Jackson. So yeah, we've seen some bubbling. Kind of keep quiet because it's quite an intimate venue, so I'm not going to plonk this down. And, yeah, put an alarm on and hope for the best. I'm not going to go the particle approach. I'm going to spread a couple of boilies out so they're having to find them, make them a bit keen. So that's my approach. Bog standard hair rig with a balanced bait.
Okay folks, so we have retreated from the sun, and yeah, we're trying to seek what shade we can at the moment because it's starting to heat up quite a bit, isn't it? Right. Okay guys, so we were just discussing the magic twig. So again, with evolution of fishing gear, so back in the 80s you have Kevin Maddock and
Maddox, Len Middleton.
That's it. So they are the guys who like designed and came up with the idea of the hair rig, but due to their feeding technique where they suck up and create a vortex drawing the bait into their mouth, you know, this was studied and the hair rig was developed.
Yeah, apparently it was Kevin Maddox. There was Len Middleton, who was a computer engineer by trade. Him and Kevin Maddox had a massive fish tank, and I think it might have been Len Middleton. Slap on the wrist if I'm wrong, but I think he asked Kevin Maddox's wife for a slip of her hair, and he tied on something, and he tied the hair onto the hook and put something onto put some bait onto the end of the hair, and the hair rig was born, I think, there and then. There are reports though it could have been earlier, believe it or not, but we don't know, do we?
So that again brings us on to this new development, which is the Magic Twig. What a name, hey, the Magic Twig. It's been distributed by OMC, which everyone knows as Ali Hamidi, One More Cast. So we were just discussing, like, you know, the pros and the cons of it. Yeah, it's like a self-hooking kind of like elastic in there, kind of similar to the Hermit rig. But again, we were just discussing the fact that it's like a fixed lead system, so it doesn't really eject if the fish. Well, I think you can rig it in a certain way so it does slip, but then you've still got the actual contraption of the Magic Twig, because you've got these two little arms which kind of spring out, and that then can kind of like foul on, I don't know, weed, I suppose, and then over time that'll just grow into a bloody great bundle of weed and end up snagging the fish up that way. But yeah, so we were just discussing, what do you think, guys? Do you think it's a good idea or not? Would you use the Magic Twig, and should we? I don't know.
Like we've been saying, I'm probably more against, because I believe it's a fixed lead. It's not so much the spring that hooks the fish, it's the fact that the lead is fixed. Although I'm not totally concomitant with exactly how it works. I think I'll go and buy one and we'll have a look at it. Probably not use it. I don't know. What do you think, Andy?
I think it's worth a go, and it's a giggle. It's it will be sort of like an experience for us to kind of like try it out and see for ourselves what the hype's all about and whether it does work. Again, like, we are fishing the river at the moment, and you know, it's that one bite you're after. That one bite is kind of like what you're after on the river with carp.
Yeah.
And it could mean the difference between catching or not catching. So again, but until we actually get it in our hands and kind of like have a look at it, don't know. Well, yeah, what can we say? Loads of action, guys. And a knock on my rod. I think it was more of a line bite than anything else. And yeah. Okay, guys, so I don't know where James has gone, but we have our friends with us. I don't know where he is. Not sure. But anyway, I'm packing up because James isn't easy around livestock. Not sure. But anyway, they're not going to cause a problem to us. So, oh, he's the other side of the gate. He's down by the road. I don't know. Right, let me get the rest of my gear packed up. So yeah, we didn't catch anything, unfortunately. We got a couple of knocks. That's about it. But anyway, right, let me get this stuff together and then meet up with James. Huh? Hey, young bullocks, yeah.
Over there.
Right folks, so following on from the cow escapade, James has just come over and had a look at the brackish waterside, and there are loads and loads and loads of thin lip mullet. So I've got a tiny little nano lure here, and I've also got some worms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tip it, we'll drag it through and see if we can grab one or two. It'd be good. So yeah, without further ado, let's get cast. Look at all those starlings.